Good morning, students. This is the second part of the lesson, the third level. In my previous video, you have learned about the author Jack Finney, who is a science fiction writer, and you know the story, the third level, also comes under the same genre, as this is a text from your supplementary reader. And the main objective of supplementary reader is to make extensive reading an enjoyable experience. I would like you to read this scientific fantasy and enjoy an unique experience. Student, let us go beyond the factual comprehension of the text and widen our creativity beyond limits. So, let us not read the story line by line. The story starts with the narration by the first person who was a 31-year-old employee, Charlie. Charlie claimed he had discovered the third level of the New York Central Station in New York. New York Central Station is one of the biggest railway stations in the world, opened in 1911. So far, everyone knows that there are only two levels, but the narrator did not agree. Once he had said that Grand Central Station is growing like a tree. What does it mean? It means the station is becoming bigger day by day with more corridors like roots. When Charlie consulted his psychiatrist friend called Sam, he said it was a waking dream wish fulfillment. What did he mean by that? Charlie was a victim of the insecurities, fear, anxieties, and frustrations of the modern world. It meant the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, anxiety, frustration, etc. Sam was also a victim of it. So he thought Charlie was not happy, and in his wildest dreams he imagined of the third level to find some peace. Now Charlie had a hobby of stamp collecting. What did it show? It was an example of Charlie's escapism, according to his psychiatrist friend Sam. But Charlie argued many people had such hobbies, they didn't discover third level. Even President Roosevelt collected stamps. Now, as you know, the story started one night last summer when Charlie took subway from Grand Central Station. He went down the steps to reach the first level and then the second level. And then he got inside an arched doorway and got lost. Now, what were the signs that made the narrator feel that he had reached third level? There were so many signs. Number one, smaller room. Second, fewer ticket counters. Information booth made of wood and old looking. The lights were dim. There were open flame gas lights. There were brass spittoons on the floor. A man was pulling a gold watch from his vest pocket. He was wearing a derby hat, 4-button suit with tiny lapels. He was wearing a handlebar mustache. And when Charlie looked around, he found almost all the people were dressed like 1890s. Charlie also saw a woman coming through the train gate, and she was wearing leg of mutton sleeved dress. And then he caught a glimpse of a locomotive, Currier and Ives locomotive. Now Charlie was surprised. What did Charlie do to confirm that he had reached in the past? He saw the magazine, The World, which was not published for years. The paper gave some information about President Cleveland, and the magazine dated June 11, 1894. Now, Charlie was confirmed that he had reached in 1894, and the first thing he wanted to do is he wanted to go to Galesburg in Illinois. But why? Children, look at the map of Illinois and find out where is Galesburg. Now, why Charlie wanted to go to Galesburg? Now, let me read a few textual lines from page 4. It's a wonderful town, still with big, old frame houses, huge lawns, and tremendous trees whose branches meet overhead and roof the streets. And in 1894, summer evenings were twice as long, and people sat out on their lawns, the men smoking cigars and talking quietly, the women waving palm leaf fans with the fireflies all around in a peaceful world. To be back there with the First World War still 20 years off and World War II over 40 years in the future. I wanted 2 tickets for that. Now, a few questions. Could he buy tickets for Galesburg? No. He did not have currency which was used in 1890s. Why did he come out of the third level? He came out of the third level because he feared he might be jailed for possessing wrong currency. What did he do the next day? Next day, he withdrew nearly all the money he had in his bank and bought old currency even at his loss. What was the strange thing happened? The strange thing happened that his psychiatrist friend disappeared. How did Charlie know that Sam had reached Galesburg in 1894? He discovered Sam had reached Galesburg because he discovered a first cover. Now, what is a first cover? Let me read some textual lines again. Look at page 5 of your textbook. Well, do you know what a first day cover is? When a new stamp is issued, stamp collectors buy some and use them to mail envelope to themselves on the very first day of sale, and the postmark proves the date. The envelope is called a first day cover. They are never opened. You just put blank paper in the envelope. But in his case, the first cover that he got was not empty. There was a letter inside, and it was signed by Sam. It was mailed to Charlie's grandfather in 1894. It was Sam's letter with a stamp of 6 cents with a picture of President Garfield of America, and the letter dated July 18, 1894. Now, what did the letter say? Let me read the letter from the text. July 18, 1894. Charlie, I got to wishing that you were right. Then I got to believing you were right. And Charlie, it's true. I found the third level. I have been here 2 weeks, and right now, down the streets at the Dalles, someone is playing a piano, and they are all out on the front porch singing Seeing Nellie Home. And I'm invited over for lemonade. Come on back, Charlie and Louisa. Keep looking till you find the third level. It's worth it, believe me. So, Sam's letter said that he had discovered the third level and he had reached Galesburg in 1894. He was enjoying a peaceful life there. He invited Charlie and his wife Louisa there. The next day, Charlie found that Sam had bought $800 worth of old currency notes, which might help him to start a hay, feed, and grain business, something that he wanted to do always. After all, he could not be a psychiatrist in a peaceful place like Galesburg. So, students, do you think the third level really exists? To get the answer of this question, you have to read the story in the perspective of a science fiction and enjoy the scientific fantasy there. Widen your imagination and discover the third level which Charlie could never do in his life. Thank you.